Now recording.
Oh boy. Jeepers. There's so many noises. Alright. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, you lovely people. There's no need for an intro. We're getting straight into it. I am burning the late night oil. There is no time for pleasantries. I don't care how Dylan is doing. I don't care how you guys are doing. I don't care about 5starnetwork.co or whatever it is. We're
That's
just
just
getting
not
straight
new,
into
by the way.
Marigold.
He never actually cared. He's just an asshole. This is true. I'm speaking the truth. It's not just because it's
We're
10 p.m. over
starting.
there.
We're starting with shooting. You know, we're gonna shoot. But yeah, we're going to start really the only way you can with Marigold. They had Marigold Grand Destiny this past week in Sumo Hall on the 26th of October. They announced an attendance of 3,450, which I think is a very good number. I know when
Highest
Noah
number
did
ever,
like
yeah.
highest number ever. When Noah did like 3,600, I think, at the venue this month, I said that is the bar for Marigold. If they get close to that, I think I would consider this a success. And so they got 200 less. So I think that's a success.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't talk about it for this show. We usually talk about it, but I do think, excuse me, they wanted to get over 3,000. Like I think that
Mm-hmm.
was the goal. Um, 300 people over is great. It like I think the biggest point for like because you look at COVID era crowds and stuff, and you look at just like COVID era, like everybody was like, you know what, we can do any building ever. I mean, Storm did Osaka Joe, like there was like we could just do whatever building, it doesn't really matter. Um, and there was like that little era of overlap where they were still running big venues but weren't getting that many people in them. Um, and there were like actual crowds, and it was always very quiet and it was very detrimental. I think the biggest like positive that you can say about this crowd is that it was hectic. Like it was like you could feel all 3,300 people there, and that's great. Like that's important. That's the important part as wrestling watchers. As much as we love, or I say we, as much as Velke loves counting seats and counting attendance in every single wrestling show he watches, the most important thing about a big crowd is that that crowd engages properly. Nobody cares if it's WrestleMania if 90,000 of the 93,000 people don't give a fuck. Every single one of the 33,000 people, or 33,000, 3,300 people, were fucking there for like
Mm.
most of this show. So that's the important part, and that's what I was really happy about, beyond just being a good number.
Okay. We kicked off the show with Kazuna Tanaka beating Shino in 6 minutes. I mean, I was surprised by the result, but I think ultimately it is the kind of logical short-term decision. Is Kazuna can turn this into maybe a twin star match, maybe a Superfly match, even like a smaller UN challenge or something. Like she
I,
can,
I think I think she's a valid first choice against Yuzuki if they want
yeah,
to.
I think so too. So, I think Shino winning long term could have been interesting, but I think for the short term, Kazuna kind of makes the most sense. But it was a good match. Like it was very energetic, just slugfest. They just got in there, did their stuff, and got the crowd up, and that's really all you want from your opener.
For as controversial as basically every other match on this card is or was, um, this match was probably the one that I seen the most wide of a gap for rating wise, because like there are a couple people that I respect and like and think they have strong opinions on things who had this match at like 4.5 stars because of
Wow.
how well worked and how clean and how there was just nothing wrong with it and it was exciting. Like it was a very perfect match in a lot of ways that really struck a chord with a lot of people. I loved it. I thought it was really, really good. I don't have it, anything like crazy like that. I didn't rate it, um, like that highly by any means. But I did think it was really, really well worked. Showing from Kazuna that I think was really needed. We talked about it a few weeks ago that we just kind of don't see where she can fit to become a top dog in this company long term, compared to the 10 other people who are great in her class in this company, or in her, in Young Marigold. And I felt like this match was like one of those showings where I was like, I can see it for sure. I don't think it's that hard to believe that Kazuna will be a white belt challenger for Yuzuki. Like I said, it's not that hard to believe that she will get the white belt at some point, and that she'll do a lot of big things. Um, this is one of those matches that kind of like confirmed that to me. And then Shino, obviously, very good, always good. She's been good since day one. She felt comfortable here, which was really cool. We were really happy to see.
Hmm.
And yeah, that was great. Really, really cool
Yeah,
stuff to start the show.
she knows such a natural. I quite like her in
Yep.
this spot. I think Hanan got a lot of joy out of being like the pay-per-view
Mm,
opener for a few months and just getting to have those like exciting, engaging matches. I think Shino opening pay-per-views for a little stretch could be a good way to like get her over with the audience to an extent. Um, yeah, all thumbs up. I like the stand, the parents getting in after, and we had a nice moment with the Argion alumni. Um, and then we
need
got on
that
to the
tag.
gauntlet.
Yumi,
Yes,
I
yes, we
don't
do.
I don't care if you had like a brain hemorrhage or whatever. I do care. I hope you're okay. But we gotta get you back in the
Yeah,
ring, homegirl.
you can bump. Everybody can bump. You know, it's fine. If Brian Danielson is still going,
You're
Yumi
gonna
should
have
probably
to
go.
because Michika Umukai kills people.
Yes. So we have the gauntlet tag. Shioko Kushino won with her surprise tag partner, which ended up being Gigaton,
I
because
was
Naya
right.
Ishikawa was the first wrestler eliminated. Now they never explained this tag team,
No.
and I don't think they ever will. This
Shoko
match
looked
was,
confused when Gigaton came
yeah,
out.
she did. I felt bad for Sioko. This was just such a bad way to debut her. Like the match was so long, and like
It was very long.
nobody cared, because why would you care? Everybody in this match is part of the undercard blob, apart from Nozaki. And so the crowd was just like sat on its hands as people
Chen
wrestled
Yoda and
for
Arena
way too
are.
long. I guess, yeah, Chanyota and Arena. I think they're an exception too. But yeah, it was just way too long. Nobody cared. There was no story. Stuff progressed. There was no grudges, and then the finish was just ridiculous. I think the Gigaton thing is awful. I think it just dragged
Jesus
everybody else down
Christ.
with it. So yeah, I hated this.
See, I disagree. You watch this after the fact too, so like that's why I'm kind of shocked because like I watched this and I was like, I'm liking most of the things I'm seeing here. Like the first bit with uh, Yuki Minami and Nagisa Tachibana was like but their first two matches I should say. But beyond that, I thought that was all pretty good. And but by the end, by the time we got to Gigaton, damn, my desk just shifted. By the time we got to Gigaton and Shoko, I was like, yes, definitely went too long to the point where I think people probably despised it if they watched it live. I would have
Mm,
just despised it if I watched it live. But like I liked the Yoda Arena stuff against Komomo and Yuka and against Darkest Revolution. And I thought Shioka looked much better here than she has during as Flying Penguin.
kind of.
Like I thought that like it was. I didn't think it was good. It was obviously the weakest match of the night, but I like didn't have a problem with it. And I do have to note, I called it last week, so I was kind
Yes.
of happy when it was Gigaton. I was like, hey, I was right. That's cool. Like like I wasn't like, oh my, like I was just like, oh, that's funny. And then I just like moved on with my life. Also, mask. I like the mask more than the paint.
Yeah, it's better than face paint.
I think it looks
It's a
cool.
bit easier.
But I
Um,
also appreciated that Rhea and not Tachibana, Rhea and Nozaki were like, I don't want to be here. Can I just leave? I don't like this weird
that's not
clown freak.
good. That's not good. I don't know why Darkness Rev didn't win. Um,
I don't either. That was my
Nozaki
big
could have
thing.
used the win, unless they're like really into Syoko because she's a singer. But that would be
But
really
yeah, I
random.
mean,
I don't really
because
know.
English comms, which oh my god, we have to talk about that, but not right now.
No.
Um, English comms did mention that whoever wins this, the team that wins this, likely will get a title shot if they want one, type of thing.
Okay.
So I don't know if that'll be happening, Gigaton and Shioko. But that was kind of why I was like, okay, I guess Darkest Revolution winning here wouldn't work, even though I would like that. I think it would be a cool heel versus heel match, but like whatever. Um, but yeah, they definitely should have just won.
Hmm.
They could have just given Shioka pretty much anything else, like
Hmm.
any other, you know. I don't know. It was weird.
Very. Speaking of weird, M was revealed to be Minoru Suzuki
Do
as
you know
he
how
beat
disappointed in myself
Megaton.
I was when I didn't figure this out? Like that's
I
such an
mean,
obvious answer.
I just didn't think
He
Rossi
does
would
everything.
do intergender. Like he kind
Oh,
of
I
did
had
it
a feel.
briefly and then stopped for a
I had
decade.
a I had a hint. I had a hunch that'd be it'd be a guy. Um,
Mm,
I
I
thought
just don't
I
think
thought
they.
M stood for man. Like, but then I was like, that's not how
Mm,
that really like that one. Eh.
no.
I was kind of like iffy about it. But no, I thought it was I thought it was cool that it was an intergender match. And I also thought it was awesome. I thought the match ruled.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is where star ratings again don't work because this is 5 stars. Like that, I
Mm,
was so
it's
thoroughly
perfectly
entertained,
done.
but I can't give this 5 stars because the woke mafia won't let me, and so I had to give it 4 in my Voices of Wrestling review. But never mind. But here's the thing: I know the Suzuki murder grandpa meme is like 5 years old,
Yep.
but as a Joshi fan, I have never been exposed to it because I did not watch him do his GCW shit. So he is less flanderized and bad to me because I haven't been exposed to it, and
Okay,
so
but
he still carried that bit of gravitas coming
you
out
have to
to
recognize
confront
where
Megaton.
like oh yeah, oh on that regard, yes. I mean like the thing about Minoru Suzuki is at one point he was my favorite wrestler in the world, like by far.
Mhm,
He no longer is. Shocker, I know. But he was. Like at one point I was the biggest Minoru Suzuki fan you'll ever meet because I was obsessed with him. I thought he was awesome. Loved his feuds, his matches with Tanahashi, loved Suzuki Gun, obviously. Like Suzuki's my guy. And yeah, since he kind of left New Japan, he's been pretty bad. Um, but he's getting his bag. And the other thing is that I felt like he still worked here because it felt like okay, even if like it was just he worked, but he also didn't work because the thing about it was Megaton sold no, Minoru Suzuki sold more for Megaton than anybody else on the roster sells for Megaton.
mhm,
So it was kind of like brain breaking because I was like, this is one of the like most legit guys of all time. He's been wrestling for 75 years. He fucking king of pancrase over here, and Megaton's just like hanging out in his knee bar. That's not how that works. Like I was just like dying laughing, and
mhm,
and uh, I think Murphs said it that it was like knowing that Megaton historically has never survived a submission for longer than 10 seconds at most and then sat with Minoru Suzuki for a good 35 seconds is fucking hilarious. It's the funniest thing about the entire match, and the match top to bottom was hilarious. Like that is so good. That's such a that is like the like that's what Minoru Suzuki in 2025 is. It's like if you pay him enough, this woman who has never like you can have Megaton go 50-50 with him. Like that's insane. That's insane. But I loved it.
Yeah, I think it speaks to Megaton too that like Suzuki was getting legitimate heat for
Oh
beating
yeah.
on her. Like the crowd was vocally behind
Barely
Megaton
barely for
and did
even
not want
beating
to
on
see her
her,
get
just
beat.
for, like, walking towards her
Yeah,
menacingly. They're like, "Dude,
she
you can't do that."
yeah, when she tried to do the moonsault and he got up, everybody was like, "Boo, get
Yep.
down, let her moonsault." That was funny. The finish was just hysterical. He gets her up for the pile driver and she taps out instead of
That's a
getting hit with the
spot
pile driver.
that somebody did before with Suzuki. I think it was another Joshi. Um, I don't remember who, but I think it was an intergender match or something of the sort where they tapped out. It might have been Hirota or, like, so
That
I
sounds
don't
like
know if
something she would do.
yeah, that's like you know what? I think Kuroda's done that with other people who do pile drivers, where
Probably.
where she taps out while or it might have been Masami in the power bomb. She tapped out before she power bombed him. Like it's a classic bit. It's perfect. It was great. Um, I was a big fan of it. Good stuff.
Yes. We then got on to the reveal of S, who turned out to be, as we guessed, Sari, taking on Chika Goto and beating her in just under 12 minutes. Sari aside, I thought Chika Goto, the new gear is fantastic. but the way she carried herself was immense. I think she like established herself on this show. The way she just cut off Sari as she was getting into the ring and showed no fear. It was like an instant almost elevation of Chikugoto to where I almost want this to be a rivalry. I want this to be a thing. I want Goto to like beat Sari for a belt down the line because she just said, "I'm not afraid of you. I'm going to take you on. I'm going to beat you." And she took the fight right to Sari. And I thought the match was very good, very entertaining. And I just thought Chikugoto's performance throughout was fantastic. Like she just made herself look like $1,000,000. And this was almost more effective than Twin Tower winning the Twin Stars.
Oh,
Like this was a
definitely, yeah.
better elevation of her than winning the Twin Star belts. That's how good I thought her performance was here.
This is something that a lot of people will be surprised to hear. This was my fourth favorite match of the night, um, which sounds pretty like okay, whatever, like however many matches are on this show. But
The
that's
final four. You look at the final four, you're
yeah,
like, it
the
broke
final
in. Wow.
yeah, Final Four. I mean, Final Five. Like I love this card. I love the show. Shocker, I
Hmm.
know. But yeah, this is my fourth favorite because it there's something about Chikugoto that is very very natural. Um, I think we saw it in the Takumi match, or not in the Takumi match, in the Gauntlet that ended with a Takumi match. But I felt like this had the same vibe of that, Takumi versus Chikugoto performance, but with somebody who hadn't already wrestled, and with somebody who was just more motivated and just like had a better performance in Sari. No offense to Takumi. Takumi did great in that match as well. But this match felt like that, but like given its time and given its moment, and separated from the context of a gauntlet. And it was so good because Chikugoto delivered that type of performance where you just like are really looking at her and like realizing what a star you have on your hands here. What a great baby face you have on your hands here. And yeah, I loved it. I thought from the second Saori got in the ring and Chikugoto just stood in front of her, like that was like I was like,
Hmm.
yeah, this match is gonna rule. And then the match ruled, and I was super happy to see it. Um, I was shocked by how good it was, honestly, because obviously we expected it to be Saori. So it's like I was like, okay, that's gonna be a pretty good match. It's gonna be cool to see Saori again. I was not expecting it to be like a really, really good match like this, like it was. Like I thought it was great. Um, I was super happy that Saori was back, even if it was seemingly short lived because she has a tour to do, um, a long one. And yeah, but I thought it was awesome.
Definitely, yeah. It's one of those cases where losing and defeat really mattered.
Yeah.
And I think you can just, I think Goto just showed that she has all those intangibles
I
that
also
I talk about a lot.
I also think that Saori put her over after like
Mm,
Saori did a couple of things very funnily, because part of it was in a tweet and part of it was backstage. In the tweet, she said Chikuto lacks stamina, but she has heart. Uh, lose weight, dummy, and then happy birthday, something like that. Not literally, but like that was kind of like the like you need to get in better shape, you asshole. And then she said happy birthday. But what I actually thought kind of put Chikuto over was Saori saying, like, she was like, when I was in the ring after I beat her, Chikuto's looked at me and she was like, I need you to come back. Like I
wow.
need you here. And it's like that vibe of just like I don't care if you beat me. I'm getting my lick back. And like I want you here because you're good and I want to fight you. Like that characterization of Chikugoto is awesome.
Hmm.
And I think it's dope, and it plays. I think we're gonna have this conversation later. I think that like kind of just like the way she presents herself as a character is exactly what her in-ring performances are. Like
Yeah.
she's never, despite being very tall, very a very big a powerhouse, she is still an underdog that takes a lot of punishment. That's ultimately what her gimmick is, and everything she says and everything she does in ring complement each other in that way to where it's like you just kind of root for her because she's awesome. Like she's cool as hell. And yeah, I thought that this match. I'm talking about this match a lot because like I said, really, really loved it. So I was
Yeah.
very happy about it.
If I don't like to do fantasy booking. It's not really my thing, but
That's all we do.
over over the next 24 months, what I would like to see is Sari eventually beating Yuzuki for the UN and dropping it to Chikagoto. I think that would be
I think
a
that'd be cool.
great 2-year plan to elevate Chikagoto to the level that she can be, and it could be a great use of Sari because you
She
might as
does
well
want
give her the UN.
the natty. Yeah,
Yes, and I mean Yuzuki can have a long reign before Sari takes it off her, so you'd be fine there. But yeah, I think Chika should
I'd be
beat
I'd
Sari
be
for
there
a
for it.
belt down the line. Um, but speaking of the Twin Star, we had Darkness Revolution. Chiaki and Misa Matsui beat the Magenta team of Maria and Riko Kawahata in 10.5 minutes to mark our first of 3 title changes on this show. I obviously going into this, I was very critical. It was a very cold match, and I think they acknowledged that, and they just let Matsui and Riko kind of have a spot fest after a certain point. Like they did a little bit of the standard heat stuff, and then they just got right into it and had a high energy, fun match with these two actress alumni who have chemistry. Obviously, doing a really good job of just kind of getting the crowd up. And I feel like that's if you don't have any heat to your match, the best thing you can do is just bring energy and have a good time. And so I think they acknowledged that the Chiaki Maria story thing was not going to carry this match and just let the two good wrestlers be good wrestlers. And I think it really
Mm.
salvaged the title situation.
Yeah, no, I mostly agree. I thought that Rico, like I've been saying for years now that I thought Rico Kawahata was better than Maria. Um, and I feel like this heel run has been to the detriment more so of Rico Kawahata than of Maria, and yet Rico Kawahata still looks better than Maria. Don't know how it
Yeah.
happens. It just does. Like it's just sometimes this world is a meritocracy. It's rare, but sometimes it is, and Rico is just better. And she was really able to deliver in this match. I say that, but I do think Magenta overall, their teamwork and what they're able to do together, and what they were able to show here was very good. It made me think, man, I wish I just got to see them like do meaningful stuff more during this reign. I guess that wasn't Maria in the tournament because that wasn't good. But I've also seen them in Marvelous, and they aren't always good. Like they're very often just kind of like whatever. So like I've been very confused about what Magenta is in 2025. But this match was a you know okay, like they can still go if they have the right opponents. And shockingly, Chiaki and Misa Matsui were the right opponents. Like this match was really cool, and I really liked the dynamic. I said it to Scott the other day that heel versus heel matches are either really, really cool and interesting and unique, and they just like deliver something different that you can really appreciate, or they're just bad. And I expected it to be like just kind of like, oh, it just didn't really work, and clash. It didn't. This was just really cool and interesting and enjoyable, and Misa and Rico did great stuff together. I usually don't like that finish where somebody hits their big move and then the opponent just rolls through and gets
Hmm.
a roll up and wins. But Misa was selling pretty heavily after she got the win. It wasn't like she like got the roll up and then got up and was like, whoa. Like she was like dead on the ground, like, we fucking did it. Like and Chiaki come picked her up and stuff. So I appreciated that they didn't just kind of like she didn't just Superman it as gets kind of annoying where you just get up, it's like, okay, use lost to Excalibur. Like you just got hit with Excalibur, you should probably like, you know, sell that a bit. And she did. So I was appreciative of that. But yeah, I think this match um, cemented for me, and this is a terrible, terrible thing for me to say because it's definitely jinxing her. But it cemented to me that Misa Matsui was the Hazuki of this company because I, with Hazuki title matches, even if I don't really care about it, like I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds like it'll be good, I guess. By the end of it, Hazuki never wins title matches. By the end of it, I'm like we need this fucking win, Misa. Let's go. We need this fucking win, Hazuki. Let's go. Like we need to do this. Like it becomes like I become so invested in their closing stretches because I really want them to win and for them to succeed. And I felt that way about Misa here, the same way I have watching dozens at this point Hazuki matches, where I'm like, please, we just need this win. Come on, let's do this. And it kind of made me realize that it's like I think that's a blessing and a curse because it's like I think Misa Matsui will be the workhorse of this company long term, but I also fear for her title record as we move
As
forward,
you
which
should.
I already am not a big fan of her title record, 0-7 or whatever. Like that's really bad. But this was the match where I was like, yeah, it's she's Suzuki. Hazuki is her.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
that's the emotional.
So we're not getting Hazuki. Not getting two Hazukis.
Probably not. I
No.
don't think
Okay.
so.
All right. Right.
Do you know how happy Hazuki is to be in Mexico?
Yes.
I think it's more likely Hazuki quits Stardom and just signs with CMLL than it is for Hazuki to
That'd
join
be real.
Marigold. I
Well, it
can't
wouldn't be
lie.
real. She'd probably be on like Guadalajara
Oh,
loop.
it wouldn't. Yeah, I
They
mean
would so
she
demote
just
her.
did that. She just did
Yeah.
that. I
Like
mean
outside of women's one, she ain't seen a Friday show.
Taro Okada went to Mexico to quote unquote see FWC, and they were in Guadalajara. Like they weren't there. Like they were not in Mexico City. I was like, "What are you doing, bro?" Like they are doing the loop. But yeah,
Crazy. I meant to bring this up earlier, but after the second match, Marigold announced their pay-per-view schedule for 2026. On January 3rd, they're running first stream in Ota Ward. On May 23rd, which is the anniversary, they're running Shine Forever at Ota Ward. On August 9th, they're running Summer Destiny in Ota Ward. And then on October 24th, they are running Grand Destiny 2026 in Sumo Hall once again. So 4 pay-per-views this year.
Mhm.
Or next year, sorry.
Yep.
I'm quite worried because I think that stretch between May and October, they're gonna be like we saw it this year, kind of, where the summer nothing really happened, and Corkins got like slowly but surely de-emphasized. And I think Shine Forever into Summer Destiny might be fine, but then Summer Destiny into Grand Destiny, you're probably doing the GP,
Yeah, it's just a GP.
and so it's like everything around that I think is just going to be poorly booked again, kind of the way it was this year.
So
So yeah, I
what
think
day is
4 is just
what's Summer
stretching it.
Destiny?
The
What's the
24th.
date of
Oh
July?
no, sorry, 9th of August.
That's Summer Destiny.
Yeah, at least I
Yeah, the
think so. It
GP
says 8,
starts like
9.
a week later.
Yeah. So you're doing kind of what they did.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine. Like if it was in
I don't
July,
know.
then like sure, maybe there's a bit of like I think this is probably ideal. Um,
I just feel it's
because
very
I
difficult
think
to
you're
build
right.
matches for Grand Destiny going straight from a tournament into Grand Destiny. It's really difficult. Rossi has
Well,
never been able to do it. He always needs a
no,
gap.
because I think that month is like I think the schedule is ideal. I
I
disagree
don't
with
know.
you also
Because I think
because
all of
I
October is going to be like this year where nothing is happening and they're going to run a Corkin with a preview tag and like
wait, what do you mean that nothing
Mayu's
is happening in
15th
October? Like this has
um,
been
Superfly match with a mid carder. You know what I mean? Like,
this has been I'm confused by your
I think they're
point
going
here.
to struggle.
Um, because I generally disagree, and I also don't know where like what your idea of better would be here in this circumstance. Like what would your suggestion have been for a schedule? Because like we're
Take
getting
out
the
Summer
same.
Destiny.
Wait,
I
what do
just
you say?
don't think they have. Take out Summer Destiny.
Wait, but you just said that the problem was what happened this year without a Summer Destiny. That's why I'm
No, I think
confused.
the problem was the GP gap into Grand Destiny, where you had like 3 or 4 weeks where nothing is really in motion, and that's going to happen again because if they
But
even
that
if
would
they do
happen again
run,
regardless, would it not?
probably, but that's what you need to fix. I think you shouldn't
But
go
that's a
from the GP
completely
straight
different
into Grand
problem.
Destiny.
you're looking at a completely different problem. That's where I'm confused with your point here. Because like I can agree with what you're saying. Like, but I think that the problem is not that there's another pay-per-view. The problem is this Battle Heart series that we've just gone through, right? We just need to
Mhm.
make that more important. We need to
But I don't
make
think
that
he
the road.
will.
We
I
need to
feel
make
like
that
he
the road
can't.
to WrestleMania, quote unquote. I've
I
mentioned
don't know.
WrestleMania twice now, but
Yeah.
uh,
I just don't think
but
he
you get
can
my
with 4
point.
pay-per-views. I think everything is gonna get shifted again,
I
and he's gonna de-emphasize some of the shows even more. Because I feel like
I
Korakuens have
don't.
already taken a step down from where they were in year 1, and Face has taken a step down from where it was initially, and I feel like next year is gonna be worse because he's saving more stuff for the pay-per-views.
mm. I get where you're coming from, but ultimately, I think four pay-per-views is better because my problem, more so than the Battle Heart series, which we just went through in September and October, my problem was the Burning Desire series, which was the very long
You might be
series
the only
that
person who
went.
remembers the names of these things.
I'm on Cage Match. I'm on Cage Match. I'm on
Alright,
Cage
okay,
Match.
okay.
Burning Desire went from the first show post Shine Forever all the way until the beginning of the Dream Star. Like
Yeah.
that was a 2.5, 3 month um, series, right?
Mhm.
That was where I was like, okay, we need to get somewhere a bit more. And I think, like, I'm very confused by your take in general, frankly, because the past like few weeks, you've been like, man, Rossi was doing a lot better work when he had to a few more pay per views and had to book to those. And now you're like, "Oh, he has another
Well,
pay-per-view and another big
yeah,
show on
but
top of
that
the
was with
pay-per-view."
Stardom's
That's the
roster.
problem.
That was with Stardom's roster. and and he was running those every month, so he kind of was just like everything else does not matter at all.
This is
But he
true.
kind of can't do that here. He cannot
Ultimately
let Corkin become a fad. Like
ultimately,
something people don't focus on.
I keep responding to your take and not giving my own, which gonna separate you. My thinking is ultimately that this will not only allow for more off paths, because I think that was kind of a problem this year, was that it's like if you wanted to take the belt off of Utami, you really couldn't because like you don't want to give away too many Korakuen title matches, and you want to make the Korakuen World Title matches matter. Um, I still think there will be Korakuen Red Belt Championship matches, by the way, but you want to make those matter. But you also don't have like there was no point that you could have taken the belt off of Tommy if you wanted to. There's no real point you could take the belt off of Mai if you wanted to. That would feel like it was built up to. And I feel like adding a pay per view allows for that. What it does, I do think it might dampen the Korakuens, but like you said, if this was already kind of a problem of lessening the Korakuens' appeal, uh, adding another pay per view, I don't think is like I think that's a problem with their booking than it is another pay per view. I think the pay per view, the Summer Destiny, is a pretty natural flow of a year for a Joshi company. For any company. I mean, look at AEW. Like AEW never should have gone past four pay-per-views a year. It was a pretty
Yeah,
solid flow of like, oh, we'll do a world title match on TV this week because it's kind of been a while since the pay-per-view, but we're gonna, lead up to this, and it's kind of like, oh, this is kind of important, but it's still not pay-per-view. And then we keep going, then we get to the pay-per-view. And you had, four pay-per-views a year. I think that is ultimately, a perfect pay-per-view schedule. I think three is just too few. I do think that period from from the end of Shine Forever, the beginning of the next the next series, all the way till the 5 star, the Dream Star. It's too late. It's 6 p.m. over here, and I'm the one that's fucking it up. But I think that tour was just very long, and I think cutting it up with a pay per view is ideal. I think it makes sense.
I don't know. I think this time next year we'll really
We'll have to
see the
reevaluate
struggle.
it. Yeah.
I think we'll see the struggle between Summer Destiny and Grand Destiny. I just don't know how he
But
fills
that's
it
just
at all.
that's just the Dream Star and then the Road to Grand Destiny, like a month
Yeah, but
worth
the
of the
Dream
Road to Grand
Star,
Destiny.
if it starts the day after Summer Destiny, as an
We have
example,
the date for when it starts.
we
I
do.
just don't know it.
Okay.
Yes, Rossi announced it.
All right. Because
It's
it's
a
because this
doubleheader.
Summer Destiny show is the 9th of August. And so if you estimate that the GP is going to be 3 weeks, that means it's going to end at the very end of August, and then you're going to have all of September and 3 weeks of October to fill. I'm just not sure how he does that. And if there's a gap and Summer Destiny happens and then there's a month to GP, he's not going to do anything in that month either. So I think he's really going to struggle to fill that time. That's all.
I can't find it. But they're starting it in Cork in, I want to say in
Oh, that's
September.
yeah. Okay, so that means Summer Destiny is going to have a gap and to the start of the GP, and I really don't think he's going to do anything in that stretch. So I don't know. I think I just think he's going to struggle because he's been really conservative with Marigold in terms of booking stuff, and now he's going to have like license to be even more conservative, and so I'm like, oh boy.
My niece came in crying because her the ice cream place was closed. She was very
Um,
upset. She wanted to
that
let me
is
know.
that's definitely the end of the world at that
Yeah, no,
age.
I don't blame her, but I was like, can you shh? Can we shh? And yeah, she's not happy.
No,
Um, but yeah, no, I think I think the problem that you are seeing is just
the
like a
velocity.
problem you have with Marigold. Yeah, I don't think this
I
is like a.
think it's
I think
velocity.
the pay-per-view schedule is the correct. Like I think it's the correct way to go. But
I guess. I don't know. We'll have to see next year. But that's enough on pay per views because we then had Chihiro Hashimoto beating Sari Yamaoka in 11 and a half minutes. I liked a lot about this match. I liked that Hashimoto just kind of dominated a lot. I thought her giving Sari a breather on the outside when she was like, I've done my job. She is dead. I thought that was good. Sari obviously sold the beating quite well. The finish, the pinfall, the finish was so cool. And it was a really good match. I just feel like I wanted a small bit more of Sari challenging Hashimoto in ways nobody else
yeah,
does. I just like she of all people should be able to do something to challenge Hashimoto. And so I kind of said this in my review for Voices of Wrestling, like I would love to see this as a rematch when Seri is closer to her final form, when she is more of a threat, because then I think it would be a little bit more interesting. But what we got was very good. Like they both did their jobs
yeah,
really well. I just feel like Seri can do a lot more against Hashimoto.
I agree, and I feel like I don't know. We argued about this earlier today. That it's like the thing about wrestling is that you're supposed to have these certain things that you're good at and these certain things that you're bad at, and that makes wrestling matches interesting individually. Um, and I felt like what was going to make this match great was that they were both good at something, at the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. But Hashimoto is clearly better, so Sari's going to have to find something else to do, even if it's within the same. Even if it's with an amateurish, kind of an amateur wrestling spin on it, whatever it may be. She's going to have to figure something out. And I feel like Sari did not figure anything out. It wasn't like oh she figured it out, but then Hashimoto just overwhelmed her and beat her. It was like she's not figuring this out, bro. Like she hit a drop kick and that was yeah, that's all you're getting, homegirl. Like that was kind of the vibe that I got. Still a really good match. I really liked it. I thought that um the scramble early was really good, obviously, because of course it was. They do that. Like that was kind of that was their sport, was just that scramble stage, but for shoot. So of course it was pretty good. But yeah, I thought that, we said it last week, or I said it last week, that I wanted to see how Sari has been able to progress from the Mirai match, from her first match, which was also very, grapple heavy and whatnot. See, Hash and Mirai, very different wrestlers, but, still very grapple heavy. And that was a lot of what Sari had at the time. Um, I wanted to see progress here. Truthfully, like from a character standpoint, and again, Hash is meant to be a lot stronger than Mirai. This felt like such a regression for Sari as a character. It's like, yeah, you can't do nothing. You, as far as I'm concerned, you learned how to do a springboard dropkick, and that was what you learned in the past 10 months. So we're gonna have to readdress this later, type of thing. So as much as I liked it, and as much as I do appreciate the levels to it that Hashimoto kind of displayed, I do also wish we got more out of Sari. Just even if it was just like, oh, her figuring something out. it didn't feel like we got much of that. It felt like Hash kind of just like trampled her. And then in the most hilarious twist of fate, um, she utilized Sari's arch rival's finishing move, which is I just pin you and you don't get up. Obviously, in a different way. I forget what the name of it was, but it's a amateur wrestling like prawn hole type of gimmick,
Mm.
and I think it's really cool. But I did find that very funny that she's like, "Okay, I hit a clothesline. I'm just gonna pin you, bro. You're not getting up." And that was it. I was like, "Shit, okay."
Yeah, the finish was she just kind of had it tied up like a fish. It
Yeah,
was really cool.
Hash is
Yeah,
never losing that goddamn belt. She is pinning everybody like that.
yeah, it's it's tough out here. But Sari, she's cool. I like Sari. Her
Yeah,
performances are good.
I will say, still absurdly good at selling because I could have
Hmm.
sworn she got knocked out like 3 times in this match. She didn't. She was fine.
Yeah, her getting
But
like the water poured in and just being like glary eyed, like she was out of it. I thought that
yeah,
was a nice touch.
I was like, "No,
Um,
she's knocked out. We need to take care of her. Somebody, please." She was fine.
yeah. Um, and after that, then we got into the business end of the card. We
Thigh
started with
splitting. That's what it's called.
oh, that's cool. We got the United National Championship match as Victoria Yuzuki beat Mai Sakurai in 20.5 minutes to become the new champion. Um, this was just the pinnacle of what like Julia-ism was.
Mm.
Like Mai Sakurai embodied the best parts of Julia here. She didn't do the grappling. She just got right down to it and wanted to beat the shit out of Victoria Yuzuki. And Yuzuki, to her credit, wanted to beat the shit out of Mai Sakurai right back.
This
I
was
think
this was
they,
fully Julia inspired, like, and
yeah,
on purpose too, because
hmm,
Yuzuki debuted the Bianca uh
yeah, she did.
in it, and
She
that
did
was
a
a big
glorious driver, I think, as well.
yeah, that was a big part of it. Was that it's like they're both kind of taken from Julia a little bit, but go on.
Hmm. I feel like they built this match on the tags really well to where they were able to start wanting to kill each other, and it was
Mm.
very natural. And I think they really did start with that. Like my Sakurai was throwing them kicks like Victoria owed her money, and Victoria Yuzuki was bleeding from the mouth after like 3 minutes. Like it was a very visceral match, and there was just a lot of intent and desire and like a will to win and an aggression that Marigold has really lost this year. I find like last year's Marigold, you still had Julia and you still had Sari. They were bringing that kind of violent like aspect to their matches. And this year we kind of haven't had it as much. So for Mai and Yuzuki to bring it back, I think really made this match stand out as one of the best matches of the show. Because this was just the kind of like aggressive wrestling that I really enjoy and that Marigold doesn't really have as much this year. And I really need Yuzuki to keep this up. I've said this since the Rhea match. Yuzuki with like a mean streak is a whole another level to the Yuzuki that we see for the rest of the year. Like she can be a great like work rate wrestler. She can go through the motions and have cool matches, and that'll be fine. But if she wants to really stand out, then I need her to keep this mean streak. I need her to keep this aggression in her game because it really makes her just 10 times more interesting to me. Um, and not to kind of forget Mai Sakurai, I think her performance was so good that a lot of us literally were like, you know what, give her the world title. you know,
Yeah,
if she's gonna keep performing on this level and if she's gonna make the red belt this, then yeah, give her the red belt. Like she is everything that I thought she would be from day one, and just
fuck
that
you.
an incredible match that elevated both of them.
Homegirl
You know,
didn't know how to walk on day one, and you were like, you know what? I think there's. I was like, okay, like what do you? You were right. Like, don't get me wrong, but that's ridiculous. Like, that's such a ridiculous pull.
the
Oh man,
intangibles never lie.
but yeah, I mean, I had my handful of issues with this match, but I do want to say that the first like 8 minutes or so, I thought was like one of the best individual performances I've seen from any wrestler this year from Mai Sakurai because she like made me believe that she was just going to steamroll her. She was just gonna kill her and just win. And obviously knowing wrestling logic, that's not what's gonna happen here. Um, but she was so convincing in everything she was doing that I was like, she's just gonna die. Like, what are we? She just hit a tombstone and kicked her in the head, and she's just gonna die. Like, this is crazy. Like, it was such a convincing and remarkable early game performance from Mai Sakurai. And I think what's also what made it stand out so much is that a lot of people aren't great at openings, as we've seen plenty this year with plenty of wrestlers. I'm not going to name one, but I think everybody who's listened to the show knows who I'm talking about. Um, Not everybody can do a good opening. Not everybody can like set themselves up for later. A lot of people need to rely on the later uh, very heavily to make their matches good. I felt like more than anything, my Sakurai set up this match to be great, and then it was carried through by Yuzuki's later performance and by Mai Sakurai's later performance as well. But it was carried through by both of them to a great match. But what made it so great for me was that it started at such a high point from my Sakurai just decimating Yuzuki. Just really, really treating her like a fucking sack of shit. Like just completely running through her. Really, really good opening. That was my favorite part of the match by far. The match kept going and kept being great. I will say there were certain points, and I think this is just kind of like a Yuzuki thing that I'm like, oh, this is just gonna be one of her things. Um, there was a point where they just kept getting backdrops on each other, like 4 times each or 3 times each, and I was like, okay, after the fourth, I think we're good. You know, realistically, after the 2, I'm good. But after 3, 4, like, I think I 6, 7, I think I'm good.
Yeah, well,
I
as we
think I'm
said,
good.
Judaism. This was
Yeah,
Judaism.
yeah, that was, like, the point where I was like, "Okay, let's not bring the patron saint of no selling back here. But we don't need all of that. We can do this a bit with a bit more poise here." Um, that's ultimately, I think, a Yuzuki thing. I said kinda similarly in the Miko Aono match. I feel like there are these moments where Yuzuki's like, I want to be Julia, I want to be Will Ospreay, I want to be these people, and it's like you probably are better off being Yuzuki because Yuzuki's fucking incredible and she's great, and so it's like there's certain points where I feel like she like wants to be something or somebody. She wants to do these spots that are just not they just don't really fit for me for what Yuzuki should be. Because this is a form of Yuzuki that is on a level that is higher than any other level she's been on to this point. But I still don't want her to lose some of the very detailed and unique things about her that we've seen over the past 2 years. So there were certain things that gave me a bit of pause. I was a bit, I don't know about that, but top to bottom about the match was absolutely phenomenal. I was really happy with it. Yuzuki winning with the uh, victory victory shooting from the top,
Yeah, I was gonna say she debuted
the
her new
victory
finisher,
sunset, victory
the
sunset.
Sunset. Yeah,
Yeah, cool name.
um, yeah, she debuted the Spiral Tap or the Spinal Tap, whichever you call it. Shout out AJ Styles.
The spinal
Um,
tap is the kick to the back.
is it?
Yep,
So it's a Spiral Tap.
it's the spiral tap.
Okay. I think it's a good like elevation for her as a her big match finisher because everybody in a Rossi promotion eventually has to debut a big match finisher. That's like one of
Mm.
his oldest tropes. I think a spiral tap is a very good one. I don't think there's many people on the roster who can do it, so it definitely makes her stand out. Um, and I think it's one of those things where it's like, oh, that can be either her special finisher for big opponents or
I think
it's
your
her
mic
new
might have
finisher.
disconnected a little bit.
Oh, fun. Am I
Okay.
back?
No.
Oh, right.
You might be now. I'm not sure. Oh,
Are
oh,
we
wait.
back? Are we back?
We are back. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, yeah, go on.
Yeah. I feel like that can either be a special finisher for big matches or it can be her new finisher. And either way, I think it's a strong finisher that like only she can do on the roster, which is
Yeah.
always good to have.
Yeah, I mean, it
But yeah.
became a bit difficult when, you're on the same roster as Mayu and IYO shows up every
Hmm.
year. Can't really do the moonsault anymore. Like,
No.
that can't really be your I mean, it could be, Mayu was doing it when IYO was, but, you know, yeah.
Yeah, I did like the
Uh,
symphony, the
yeah,
trio
me
of
too.
moonsaults, but yeah, this is probably easier to do.
That's crazy, but yeah.
But yeah, that was that one. Elevated both of them, and I don't know if you have anything more to say or if you want to move
Uh,
on.
just on Mai Sakurai, somebody compared her to David Finlay, or at least the public perception of David Finlay, and I think that is a very, like, apt comparison because it's like David Finlay should be world champion. He's not, and he probably won't be soon because it just doesn't really fit right now, I guess. But there's no reason he's not because he has made such an incredible improvement uh, that there's like he makes just as good of sense as anybody on the roster. I feel like Mai Sakurai has really also taken that mantle. Um, except I can see Mai Sakurai being world champion now, which is crazy because we just talked about this like a month and a half ago. Of like, do you think Mai can be world champion? I was like, probably not. Like it just doesn't really seem like she seems like a white belt wrestler, and then that'll be where she ends. But like this match and just a lot of her performances and just I mean, even watching Mask Fiesta today, watching her not Mai Sakurai, Darth Mater,
Hmm.
like just watching her there, like I was just like, she's just like you would think she was a natural. She wasn't. Like physically speaking, she was not a natural at pro wrestling. But you would think she was because she is so like she just works. Like she just the her flow and the way she moves, it just all is like seamless. It's perfect. Um and I've gotten to that point recently where I do think she could be world champion. And I'll be rooting for her, as I have been rooting for her this entire reign. Because when it started, I was like, Mai, like we're giving the belt to Mai, like all right, like this is we're going, and as it ends, it's like, yeah, that was the best decision they could have made for the white belt by far.
Big time. But it's time to get on to the Marigold World Championship match. Miko Ono beat Utami Hayashishita in 26 and a half minutes to win the world title as all three titles changed hand on this show. Um, I will
Well,
say,
three of four, but yeah,
I think they sabotaged this match by putting it on after Yuzuki. I went into this match and I was just like, having seen the spirit and desire and winning intent from Yuzuki and Mai, watching Utami go through the same motions as she always has really made me just go, I'm so over this. Like, you have been the same woman since 2021 when you beat Mayu. Like,
Jim beat her in 2021.
okay, 2020, but you know what I mean.
Get your shit
Um,
straight.
but I was just like, how can you go from such a spirited match to somebody who is going through all of her usual motions and has been running in place for years now? Like, I was just so uninterested in what
See,
Utami was doing. It's the same as ever. And I think following it, and I think going from the high of Yuzuki and Mai to her was like a complete vibe shift because she and that is not really what I like in my wrestling. I tore apart Mariah and Iono for the same reason. Like, at no point was Utami that I feel like Utami was trying to like win or
see, that's
get
just
on top of
insane.
the match.
I think
She's
I think
just
that's
going through her emotions. And it was more evident here because she went on after Yuzuki versus Mai.
okay. I have watched this match twice because
Wow.
I got so fucking annoyed by the response to this godforsaken, not godforsaken, this match fucking ruled. From the response from the godforsaken wrestling fans that exist in this putrid filled world that we live on. I was so fucking annoyed because I watched this match and I was like, yeah, I see everything. Like in fact, I resent exactly what you just said about the idea that Utami was not fighting to win because this more so than the match prior. I felt like I could see Utami's path to victory the entire time, the same way I could see Miku's. It obviously fucking took a fucking massive shift when Utami died in front of our eyes, or almost died. Damn near broke her neck. Like it obviously kind of took a shift there, and I don't think Utami ever really got back on top after that, which she shouldn't have because wrestling. Well, that actually isn't true. She did kind of do something after. Doesn't matter. From the beginning, I was like, I thought that the first couple minutes were weak, and that's the thing about Tommy. I'm not going to pretend like she's the perfect professional wrestler. She's God's gift to the wrestling world. Like I recognize that Utami is an incredibly uh flawed wrestler. There are a lot of problems that she has. She can struggle scrambling early on. She can struggle just kind of like starting a match, especially the initial, because she never really like fires out of the gate like you kind of want to see, especially on a card like this. Like I can understand where you're coming from with Mai Sakurai Yuzuki and then Io and Mayu after this. It's like you want that fire out the gate. I thought that watching this, I felt like the beginning was lacking in intensity. But then I rewatched it and I was like, oh, I get the point because they followed it up later. Um, I think Utami specifically in this match was doing something pretty novel of hers, at least novel to the old Utami, and that's targeting the neck, which she started doing and then immediately got hit with the Styles Clash on the apron, and it completely sent her uh, into try not to die mode, and that was ultimately where Utami spent most of the match, and that's something that we have kind of sparred on a bit is Utami's tendency to be on the defensive and get beat up and go 47 or 40-60 against pretty much everybody. Even if she's winning, even if she's losing, she kind of likes to do that. And I felt like this match was an instance of Utami being completely broken down by Miku in a way that was incredibly satisfying. Even as somebody who's a bigger Utami fan than a Miku fan, I felt like I watched this match and I was like, Utami is giving Miku her legs, she's giving her her neck, she's giving her just everything that she's giving her her finish. Like like Utami hit her finish, didn't get the win. Miku hit Utami's finish and got the win. Like Utami is giving everything she can to Miku, to make Miku a fitting world champion. And I think that this, and I'm, not to throw astray, but I think this was like the inverse of what we got from the Sa rematch for Utami. Like that match wasn't Saori giving Utami the reins. It was it was Utami getting beat up and then Saori just losing to Utami. That was my problem with that match, and I felt like the exact opposite happened here, and I was incredibly happy to see it. I'm not going to get into every single semantic of the match because I can tell you just don't really want to. Um, I do have every single semantic of the match memorized at this point, uh, because I liked it that much, and I saw where the limb work early on was addressed later in the match, and it made it more satisfying to watch and to see the back and forth because Miku was fucking up Utami's legs early on, and then 16 minutes later Utami goes for the finish. Miku kicks her in the leg. Utami crumbles. Utami can't do it. Utami's fucked. Utami was working on Miku's neck early on, doing neck cranks, doing drop kicks to the neck, doing, working on her neck heavy. Drops it for a while. 20 minutes in, Miku hits a German suplex. Utami gets up, hits a German suplex on her. Miku cannot get up. You would expect her to fucking, power up like they did in the match before. 5 times. Like you would expect her to do that, but she couldn't because her neck was fucked. Like like there are so many criticisms of this match, and a good couple of them completely valid. If you like faster matches, this is a slower match. Like that just is what it is. It's a slower match, and I think that's cool. I thought on this card it was kind of needed. I appreciated the more methodical match pace because it wasn't Edge Randy Orton slow. It was just a slower match. Like, it was just wrestled at a slower pace, and that was fine. I thought it fit with the card because it stood out because it wasn't the fast-paced matches that were before and after it. Like, if you just don't like slower matches, that's fine. But like, to say this match wasn't well worked or wasn't smartly done or wasn't Utami really doing something special for Miku, I think that's just dumb. Like, I think that's just insane. And like, we can agree to disagree, I guess, but like, that has really frustrated me because it's like, and I think I talked to two people about this, Harkin and Scott, and they both kind of understood what I meant when I said, like, I feel like I see things in Utami matches that people just don't for one reason or another. Because it's like, there's
Coping.
clearly so many through lines here. There's clearly such like thought put into this match that people are just like, ah, it was slow, throw it out.
Okay, I I a lot of people who I know who didn't like this match don't have a problem with slow matches. Okay,
Oh, I know. There,
and like
there are people
I
who
think
like
I
slow
think
matches and think like
disregarding it
this.
as a slow match thing ignores the fact that Utami has many issues, and the biggest one being I don't think she makes most of her stuff interesting enough to be worth paying attention to, because I think Utami's like vibe and match structure could totally work if she embraced it, but she just doesn't. And I bring up Kandori a lot because like that could be what Utami is. She could probably take so much from Kandori, but she just doesn't. And it would make her so much more interesting. Like she walks to the ring and she's like, I am cool and I'm above all of this. And then she goes out there and goes through the motions. It just doesn't
See,
connect.
you
And
keep
it
you keep
never,
saying goes through the
ever
motions when, like,
connects.
you've been saying Utami goes through I don't know what you are talking about with the motions. Like, she does her moves in the same way that fucking Mayu did her moves in a match later, just like fucking Hashimoto, she fucking loves doing her moves. Like, what are you talking about here? Like, I'm like, I can see, like,
She
in
has
terms
her
of like,
steps outlined and she takes those steps and there's no interest between the
but
steps.
that's just
And she
just
doesn't wrestle to
vastly
her
untrue.
gimmick at all.
That's
I
that I
don't
agree
feel
with, and
her
that
gimmick
that
in
that
her
I
wrestling.
completely agree with. That is a very valid complaint to have of Utami, because I can agree that, like I said earlier, that like Chikagoto wrestles to her gimmick better than like
Mhm.
anybody. Like she is her
That's what I
gimmick
think
in ring
annoys me
and
with Utami,
when she
is this
says.
could work. If she was just a little bit more like, if I just felt like she was a little bit more calculated and assured of herself when she's wrestling, but that's never what I get. It just feels like somebody going, "Okay, I watched a lot of Okada matches.
See,
I wanna
but I
do that."
disagree.
But his
I
stuff
disagree.
works
I
because
think
he
that
was a god of the company. If she was the
I
god of
think there's
Marigold,
so
I think it would
much
work way better.
I think there's so much that you can see in this match and in the Takumi
I
match, which
just
everybody hated
don't.
too. Uh, Less so in the Mirai match. Like, that's where I get a bit confused, because what you are saying is the opposite of your favorite Utami match or Utami title match this year. Both of your favorite Utami matches this year, because that wasn't her game in the Mayu match either. I mean, a little bit. I think I think the Mayu match is what most people want out of Utami. That's what I would love out of Utami more often,
Yeah, well, I would
is
like a gimmick
the
change, in
the
fairness. I would
smarter,
like her to
yeah.
just shift altogether.
And
Um,
I think that's a pretty dumb uh opinion, because she's popular and people like her, and she has
yeah, but she's had to
succeeded.
get bailed out by Mayu. I feel
No,
like
I
I don't think Marigold is where it is without Mayu because she's the
of
actual
course not. Fucking
face.
Stardom isn't where it is without Sai Kamatani. It doesn't mean that
But like
nobody else in
she
the
was
company is
never
worth fucking shit. Like, that's like,
no, but
these
Utami
comparisons
has
don't.
consistently been had to be bailed out. I feel like she has consistently had to be bailed out because there is just something not working. She had to get bailed out in Stardom. She had to get bailed out by Mayu here,
Who did she
and
get
like
bailed out by in Stardom?
Julia. Julia was the central focus when Utami was like on the rise, and then she kind of got lapped by Suri by the end. So like,
Because she put Shuri over. Yes, of course she did. That's what
yeah, all
Shuri
right,
is not who Shuri is in Stardom without the fucking Utami match. That's just fundamentally the
sure.
case.
Well, I don't know. I think she would have got there with a GP in the
Eventually,
Momo
but
match.
but I don't think it's as like I feel like you are completely. I'm gonna take a chill pill. I'm gonna take a chill pill.
You're not gonna defend her enough. I just there like she has had two title reigns end where I've just like let out a sigh of relief, and you just cannot overcome that. Um, I will say Miku Ono, I really enjoyed what she did here.
Who
I
would have
think
thought?
her
Everybody fucking enjoys every single opponent Utami ever has, and they don't like Utami's
Alright,
performance in the match.
alright.
Who
Hey,
would have
I've
thought?
been
Maybe
praising Miku
Utami makes
Ono
people
for like a
look
month.
fucking better. Who like is that so
You cannot say that about one of the like premier wrestlers in the world. Like Miku Ono is like insane. But like I liked a lot of what she did. I think her style can adapt to the world title quite well. I think her like picking apart opponents can go really well. Um, I did like the Tree of Woe thing where she just kicked out Utami's thighs. It was like fuck you. Um, and yeah, like I didn't hate the match. I know it's kind of got buried in it all. I thought it was a good match, like well worked.
It's fine because
Because
it's gotten
Utami
buried a lot, but
is
it also has fucking like an 8, like, on the
yeah,
dot.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely cage match bait. In fairness, but like Utami
Okay,
is
dude,
like
okay, there's
fundamentally a good
no
wrestler.
fuck you. I am so
But I I did think
whatever.
it was
Let's
good
move
by
on.
the end. I thought the Guerrero special. I actually thought I liked the kick out after the Guerrero special. I know most people didn't, but I thought it was cool to see Utami like really dig deep, and then she hit like that power bomb out of nowhere, and she was like
Mhm.
rah, and I was like hell yeah, hell yeah. So yeah, I did like that towards the end, but just the rest of it just couldn't. It just wasn't up to par. And Mikuyano is going to be world champion, and I hope her reign gets treated better than Utami's. I
Yeah.
know this might be controversial to some. I don't think your champion should defend every 3 months. I just don't think it works. I don't think it has ever worked. The
I mean,
most like
it
storied,
has.
kind of. I feel like the most storied title reigns are usually ones where the champion is ever present and like defends a lot.
I don't
I
know,
feel like it's
it's
what people tend to like more.
but I think the thing about Miku is that I think there are going to be people who don't work against Miku, and I think if you have her against too many people who don't work and not enough people who do, 8 title defenses in, you're cooked.
I don't know. I think it's
Because I
fine
think there's, but
if
it's
the
not
matches are
because it
kind of
wasn't fine
good.
for
I think it's
Utami.
fine.
Like,
But if the matches
these
are
are the
good
problems.
and she's defending regularly and she's having like an
But the
interesting
matches aren't
time,
always going to be good. That's
I
the problem that
trust
you run
her.
into after 10
I trust how she
defenses.
wrestles. I think Actress taught her to
I don't
heave
think her
people up
white
by the
belt
neck.
reign was that insane. Like, that's where I'm coming from. Like,
I don't know. I feel like we people generally tended to like the matches of that, but then she only had it for like few months, wasn't it? Can't remember. How long
she
was Summer
defended
Destiny to first stream?
she defended it, 3 times successfully, a 4th time,
Yeah, I
um,
mean that wasn't really enough to get
to
people
lose.
vibing.
And also the Brazil match was
Yeah.
like, I'm not trying to come down Miguano, but I think there are holes in her game that she will sometimes need to lean on her opponent, and if you give her too many defenses, you might not always be giving her wrestlers she can lean on.
Uh, I don't know. I think she can haul people up by the neck if they need to.
It's also
That kind of
like
wrestler.
I agree, and like I think Mai Sakurai is a great example of a wrestler who like I also felt this way about. That's like, oh, if you put her against Chan Yoda, I don't know if she'll be able to, if you put her against Chika Goto, I don't know if she'll be. And then she had one of the most consistent title reigns of the year. Like she pretty much never dropped below a 3.5 on a Meltzer scale. She never dropped below a 7 out of 10. So like I am not saying that it's like impossible. I think Miku is fully capable, but I do see the issues with running 10 title matches in 9 months or in even a year. Like I can see, I think 5 was fucking insane. Like you should probably do more than that, Rossi. But
Hmm.
I think there's a centrist take. There's a medium that you can find.
I don't know. I would like monthly defenses. That's all I ask. Probably won't get it. But yeah, that was that match. I hope Utami kind of enjoys her time off now. She tends to like it when she can just do whatever the fuck she wants. And just becomes a better wrestler when she does it. So, all right, this is Alex from the future. I don't think I made my points well enough on Utami versus Aono. Kind of got sidetracked. So I kind of wanted to just put this in so Dylan cannot respond. But essentially, I think the problem was going from Mai versus Yuzuki, where both wrestlers had like a very clear passion and desire to win and a care like in their actions. They made me give a shit about them and about the match and about the belt. And then going from that to Tammy is too cool for this, who shows up kind of looking cool, looking nonplussed, unemotional, and she starts the match with her usual slow kind of back and forth. And I think it compounded a lot of the issues Utami has had throughout her reign. I was very unhappy with her build to her winning the title. I think her build to a lot of the matches has been fairly passive. I think she herself has failed to generate interest in herself and her matches. And it all kind of came together here where she once again just doesn't wrestle like she gives a damn. I think going after a match where both wrestlers so clearly gave a damn and were so emotional, and obviously the match after was the same, it was just very hard to care about Utami. It was very hard to get a sense that she cares. And that's just something about how she wrestles that it's very difficult for her to be emotive and to get us into the matches in the way that her peers can. And so I think this match was just kind of the house of cards falling, because I've had these problems with Utami for 10 months, 11 months now. And I just think this was the final straw in terms of you do not ever wrestle or look like you care. And it is very difficult for me to give a damn about you and about your belt right now when everybody else in this company looks like they care so much more. And I kind of touched on it. Like, I think the too cool aspect can work, but she'd have to change a lot. I think you can make the too cool aspects and the slow starts be more of a like my win is guaranteed. You can make it more arrogance, like I'm gonna win, I am always gonna win. I don't sweat this, like I'm cold, I'm calculating because I know I'm the best of the best. But that also requires her to be booked like the best of the best, and so then that's a whole another issue because she hasn't been. She's had five. She had five defenses. Two of them were good wins. Then you had the Mirai one, which was very even, and then she went to a draw with Takumi. So she doesn't look like a world beater who should be assured of her victory. That is probably the best way to make who she is now work, is if she was able to be like, well, I always win. So I'm not emotional because getting emotional can be costly, and I'm gonna wrestle dominant because I'm the best in the company. You know, we've seen her do that. We've seen her do the Mio match or the Mio segment. We've seen her the Asmi matches. If she was just a little bit more arrogant and was like throwing people around to start the matches and showing off her power, I think it would make her a much more interesting wrestler overall. But as she is, she's just somebody who is too cool, who is never emotive, who it's very hard to get into and care about. And I just think this match was kind of the big breaking point for me, for a lot of people, because it went on after a match where Yuzuki put on that masterclass in emotion, and Mai Sakurai put on that masterclass in intensity, and this Utami versus Naono just didn't have it at all. I think it's very worrying that Utami has had two world title matches or two world title reigns where she's really struggled to make the matches interesting, and she's really struggled to emote and like really get people into her. And I just don't know how she fixes that without Rossi completely adjusting and bugging her like Prime Okada or Prime Io, who just stomps on everything in their way. But I don't think he will. So I don't know. But yeah, hopefully that clarifies things. I didn't. I was just so late yesterday. Talked so much. I was kind of trying to like go between what I'd seen people say about Utami and my own feelings, but that just doesn't really work. So I'm back here with just my own feelings, and yeah, hopefully it kind of sounds a bit better. We then got on to the main event. IYO SKY beat Mayu Iwatani in 26 and a half minutes. What I think was an excellent match. You know, I've seen people try and talk this down out of the sheer copium in their hearts, but you have to watch this for what it is. And this was just two excellent wrestlers having an excellent match. And what I really liked was they could have just done nostalgia. I think they could have just played to the crowd and done the normal stuff, and people would have been happy, right? Everybody watching would have been like, "Yeah, that was cool." Crowd liked EO, you know, fine. But instead, they like started friendly, and then it was almost like EO was like, "Does she think she's on my level?" It was like for one night only, she was back to being like the asshole from Queen's Quest. Like you could see it in her expression how she went from like happy jokey to like I'm gonna eat you alive the way she used to do. You know, I thought that was fantastic, and I thought it really set a tone for the rest of the match where this was
Honestly,
not
I
two
think
friends having a match. It was Io Shirai trying to prove that she is still Io Shirai to Mayu, who was trying to prove that she's the icon now, that this is her turf.
it's because it's these two specifically, but I agree, but I think it was almost too subtly done. Like I this is the rare instance where I kind of want a Julia-ism of them like just like kind of like getting real fucking I mean Io's a fucking WWE wrestler. Like you can do the I'm gonna stand here for a good couple seconds and like look like I'm gonna murder you. Um I felt like maybe the biggest flaw of this match was that they just wanted to do stuff. Like they just wanted to do as much as they could. They just wanted to wrestle for like they just wanted to keep going, and you could kind of sense that. And sometimes that through line that you just brought up that I really appreciated, um, it sometimes got a bit lost. It was sometimes like, yeah, that's generally what the point is, but they just want to like fight. Like they just want to wrestle each other. Uh, and maybe that's just from like a context thing. Like I'm burdened with context of like, well, clearly this is them wanting to have fun and wrestle each other. So maybe it was like an issue of suspension of disbelief for me. But I think leaning a bit more on the like, you're not as good as me. Like, where
Mm,
I hope you know that. Like, and like that kind of like back and forth, and Mayu proving that she is at least to some degree. Like I think leaning a bit more on that story uh, would have made this a 10 out of 10.
yeah.
I have it at like 9.5
I
because,
would
and
agree.
I think people have kind of like said this. Like I don't think this is a hot take. There were instances where it felt a bit exhibitiony, which will take away a little bit from a match. Uh, but when it's the exhibition of one of the greatest pairings in wrestling history, it's like okay, like I'm chill with an exhibition. Like I don't, I ain't complaining. So that's my negative uh feelings, the beginning of my and end of my criticisms of the match. Otherwise, fucking tremendous, bro. So
Yes.
fucking good. You can continue.
Io
I cut you off. Go ahead.
Io is so flawless. Like
Yeah.
I've obviously seen Io Shirai matches. I watch her at WWE. I've seen her all Stardom stuff. She is genuinely just like insane. Like there is no like misstep with her. It was absurd. And I know I've seen people say that like, oh, you're just being elitist. Like this is the Io Shirai we see in WWE, and I kind of get it. She has been really good in WWE. I still feel this was a different animal. I still feel like her
Yeah.
vibe was just taken 10 years into the past. As I said, this was Queen's Quest ace Io Shirai. Like this woman, if she stepped into a WWE ring, would literally eat Rhea Ripley alive. Like
Mhm.
that was how she came across. And that's not to say that like she's like nobody else is talented, but like this EO, if you mess up against this EO, she's not gonna she's not waiting for you. She's not waiting around to get on
No.
her level. Like you get to her level or she is going to leave you in the dirt. Um
It's like
and
that
like she
that
just
Kamika
felt
Mikawa
different.
story Awesome
Hmm.
Kong told. I think it was Mikawa. Where Awesome Kong was like, "Yeah, we were like 20 minutes in and I was a bit blown up, so I tried like I got up like a half a second too slow and I got kicked in the fucking head."
Yeah.
like that's just like I don't know how they just keep going. And I feel like EO is the pinnacle of just keeps going. Like she just
Mhm.
never turns it off. Like it's never there's never a she would win the long walk by far. She just keeps going. She just
Yeah.
keeps the entire time.
Yeah, no, I thought this was excellent. I thought Mayu's performance was obviously fantastic as well. Like her growth between the two matches was immense, and I think they had like stuff in their last two matches that was a little bit like not great, and they both just improved on it a lot in
Well,
this
what do
one.
you mean by last two matches? Because like the Cindy match was fine.
Okay, not that one,
Like it was,
but the
you know.
ones before that, yeah, the title matches.
Mm,
But yeah, this was obviously just like a fully fledged Mayu. Like she is so much better now than even she was when they last wrestled.
yep.
And they just pulled Io Shirai out of the time capsule. And I keep calling her Io Shirai because this was Io Shirai. This was not IYO SKY. This was the full thing. It was just fantastic to see. I mean, they're just two excellent wrestlers who had an excellent wrestling match and just played to the inbuilt kind of relationship of who these people are. Io still wants to be the best, and Mayu still is trying to prove herself. And on this day, she just couldn't. She ended up falling to the moonsault, but she needed two. She needed two to put Maya away. So
Yeah,
there you
I thought she when she went up the second time, I thought she was gonna hit the moon stomp. I was like, is she gonna kill her? And I was
go.
like, okay, okay. But yeah, no, I thought the match was absolutely incredible. Among the best of the year, likely the best of the not to make the match reduce the match at all. I think wrestling's been kind of shit this year. In terms of high end, I just have I like my top 10 match of the year is like kind of like I mean like I'm not super you know gung ho about it. But this was definitely like top three, top four, the entire year because it was just so fucking good. Like it's a lot of fun to kind of just like see this pairing that's been away for so long. Uh, like I said, they clearly wanted to just like kind of like go out there and just wrestle for as long as they could, do as much as they could. And I kind of appreciated the rawness of it at times. Early on I think like the the scrambling, the grappling, it was very clear that they hadn't wrestled in a while. Like they just kind of like were like a bit like off tempo for a second. I was like, oh, that's it. Like, like this is they felt each other out a little bit, and it was like, oh wow, like maybe they don't remember, and then they immediately just like locked in with each other. And it immediately was the Io and Mayu of old, um, but on a improved scale, especially with Mayu. I feel like when you look at Mayu these days, one of the coolest things and one of the things I was the most excited for about this match that I got was Mayu just like doing her crazy like main eventer moves, like the Dragon's Ray, the greatest poison Rana ever. Like that against EO is so fucking cool. What I mean? Like that's like I was giddy when I saw that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, ultimately this match just meant a lot. I remember EO was coming out and I started like tearing up a little bit. I was like, God damn, it's been a minute. Cause obviously, one of the first matches I really loved in Stardom, I watched it after the fact, but was Team Moon versus Thunder Rock. Like was EO's last match in Stardom. And I remember watching that for the first time and I was like, wow, like I get it. Like I get the appeal of EO. And that wasn't even like her best match that year or anything. Match was great. I just rewatched it. It was tremendous. But you just kind of get that feeling. Then you see, like Mayu kiss her, and just like that I forgot about. But you see Mayu kiss her, and just like you know, Mayu and Io just kind of as friends, and you watch this match, and it's like, damn, like it made me feel old. It made me feel happy. It made me feel like accomplished for some reason, despite it being me sitting on my ass watching wrestling for 7 years to get to this point. But I was super happy with what we got. I thought that the pace just never stopped, and
Hmm.
that was probably the coolest part. Like I don't know, I just loved it.
I think the
Um,
fact that this match went the same length as the co-main was like insane because they just felt so different on that level. Like this
mhm.
never dipped at all,
This
and
this match
obviously the other match did
had
dip.
this okay, shut the fuck up. This match had this match's literal work rate was the most absurd shit of all time. Like work rate as in like moves per minute, like insane. Like they just
I
kept
don't know. I
going.
don't think it was. I don't think it was that bad. But yeah, I
No,
get
in
what
a
you mean.
good way. In a positive way, because it's not like they were doing things that were meaningless, or just kind of like going through the trying to get as many moves in as possible. But they were just like it was just constant. They just never really like there was no like you said there was no lull. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I'm man enough to admit that early on into the Miku Utami match, I think there was a period where they kind of like slowed like notably slowed down as they were going back. They were going into another you know story beat of the match. They took their time with it. This match, there was no taking your time. They like it as a viewer, it was like if you don't like lock in, you're going to get left behind, or you're not going to like we're gonna keep going, and I
Hmm.
appreciated that, which is I think is
Um.
probably the biggest difference between like pacing in WWE and in this match, for
Oh,
example,
for
for
sure.
EO,
Yeah.
is that it's like you will get left behind if you aren't paying attention. Like I'm not, I ain't letting things sit too much to give you
Hmm.
time to digest them. I know that turned into a big controversy on Twitter like a month ago,
Yeah.
but
Um.
there's a point to it.
After the match, then they did tease Thunder Rock. They both were like, "Hey, let's do Thunder Rock next time." So I guess that is your match next year. They'll team up, and that'll be one of your next wrinkle of the IYO SKY or IYO SKY nostalgia stuff. Um, and
Io
yeah, that
needs
was
to save
the
her goddamn money so she can come back.
yeah. But that was that show. Uh,
Yep,
very good show. I think their best pay per view to
great
date,
show.
without kind of any competition. I feel the roster has definitely grown so much since where we started. I mean, can you remember like the first pay per view? Like some of that was oof. Even like first stream this year had its
Had
I
its
didn't like
problems.
first stream that much. So yeah, to get to here in just a few months, I think is a big achievement. Um, and then you wanted to review Mask
Just
Fiesta.
briefly. Just briefly.
Yeah,
Just wanted to give some
I feel like I hate doing it
points.
because we don't obviously like it's like a non-canon and we can't really say much. But
Yeah.
yeah, we that was today in Shinjuku Face to the 325 fans for it. Just FYI.
This
We
is my
opened with
favorite show of the
Copan,
year, basically every year. Um,
of course. Do you want to do match by match, or do you just want to talk about who you thought was good?
we could just talk about who like were cool. I thought first of all, Co-Panda. The funny thing is, Mil uh, Nagasar, uh, Nagi,
Nagisaurus.
Nagisaras.
Yeah, it's a play on
Uh,
Neil Mascaras. So
yeah, I
Nagisa.
know. I'm aware.
Okay.
I just didn't
You
know
haven't
how to
seen
put
it.
Nagisa in there. Um,
Okay.
it
That was
was
pretty easy. I don't know.
shut up. Um, the thing is that like Nagisa, her look was like probably the best on the show. Like
Yeah.
she looks like oh yeah, she should just be a luchadora. The problem was she was one of the only wrestlers on the show where I was like she actively doesn't know how to wrestle with a mask on. Like
Yeah.
like I was watching her, I was like she's actively not as good. Whereas Copanda, now she was fucking cooking. She was going way harder than the dorm leader over there. Like she was going insane. I was really impressed. She kicked her in the head for some reason, like just like high kick out of nowhere, just cause. Uh, she blocked a drop kick with just a forearm. She pushed her like midair, just launched her away. I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? Who's this panda person? Like this is insane. Um, so yeah, I think Copanda, that mask, it really gives her powers, and maybe she should have an alter ego that maybe not Panda, like maybe that wouldn't work year round, or on and off, but give Homegirl a mask. Otherwise, I really liked the tag match with Gal Luchadora and Mask Loth against Kenyan, Jesus, and Rise. Um, That was cool. Like I
Yeah.
thought that the Gato stuff was funny. I Lilith getting the cell phone and like taking pictures with the flip phone during the Romero special. Great stuff. Um, and then yeah, Darth Maida.
The main event
Maida.
was the funniest one. You
Yes, I
know,
mean
with
obviously, who would have thought
Darth Mai.
Eichmann mask Eichmann when what this is kind of sadistic of me, but when Utami almost died on that card on in the Mika match,
Yes,
I was like, oh no, we're gonna miss Eichmann mask, and I was so happy that she didn't
yes.
miss the show.
Um, no, I thought the semi main was the funnier one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, you like
Yeah,
the main event more, like
no, it's
comedy
semi
wise,
main.
because
You just
yeah,
missed out.
Summer Man was
Yeah,
way more
Megaton,
funny.
hilarious. Lost her
Sounds
mask doing a
hilarious.
roll. Unmasked herself voluntarily to
Yep.
hype herself up and got her shit rocked. Um, Darth Mai, and then Mika Ono. One of her first interactions as world champion was watching Chiaki drink steroids, and power
Just
up.
protein power.
So, yeah,
You
so
know,
very
I
funny.
think you know who you should blame for Rossi becoming or Rossi potentially losing his spark is the Easy Gen guys because they pay this company so fucking much money.
Oh,
Like
dude, you know.
like they are so clearly like I just love Marigold and want to give you all of the money
I
we
said this
can.
somewhere. I need Rossi to go hungry again. He needs to earn those hats. If
Now
he needs to earn hats, he will book better.
he's stocked up on protein powder, brother.
Wow. Yeah.
He don't need none. Um, but yeah, I thought the
Awesome.
Summer Main event was hilarious. I the best of Cutie Matsu is just a crazy name. Like I don't know.
I don't know.
Like I don't know. I thought the match was great. In terms of comedy, I love the Chiaki stuff or the Wild Wolf stuff. Sorry, not to dox her, but yeah, really good stuff there. And the main event was a lot of fun. Hummingbird was feeling different. She did a big crossbody from
Ah,
springboard to the outside, like just
crazy.
fucking because she had to, live up to Coco, who did a Ase moonsault, a minute in, like a psychopath. And yeah,
She's
Eichmann
nuts.
Mask, uh, as someone who avoids watching Jiro whenever I can, uh, this entrance, like this gimmick, does still hit. Like it's still fire. I love it. I think if you were a big Jiro hater and you've seen a lot of Jiro, you probably won't like it as much. But when Eichmann Mask does it, it's a great time.
Yeah, no, I quite like the Ikemen gimmick. I think Utami should do it year round
Hitting
because it is funny as hell. There was one guy in the
hitting
venue who
Coco with
thought
the
this
fuck.
was the funniest shit of
Oh,
all
I heard.
time.
Yeah.
She hit somebody with the jacket and he just like guffawed.
Like he just yeah. I was like, oh my god.
Hilarious.
Dude, it
Yeah.
was so good. I thought I thought the show was
I
fun.
think
I
the
thought
thing with Utami as well, she suits comedy so well. And I said this in our
yeah.
Discord. It's kind of like Shoto from My Hero Academia. Because can you just imagine him telling a
Specific.
joke? It would be fucking hilarious. Because it's just so out of left field from him of all people. And I think Utami doing that with the jacket
Visually, I
thing.
can see the comparison as well. Like just
Yes,
like from a
yeah.
yeah,
Like
I get what you're
Utami
saying.
of all people is being like, I got a jacket is just mind-bendingly funny that I need it to always happen now. And she can like
They're
wrestle
on the
twice a
jacket
year or
strength.
whatever. I don't, yeah, like I don't really care if she wrestles anymore, but she can just do the jacket shit. Um, and that would be good. So, but yeah, no, that was, it's a fun show. It's just impossible to review. It's like
Mm.
we don't even know the new names of any of them. It's it's
Well, I
difficult,
have them
but
written down, so I'm chilling.
of course you do, of course. Not to forget it, but we are gonna have to move on because it's
Mm.
getting late. Mayu Iwatani showed up on Monday Magic and seemed to build a GHC Women's Championship match with Takumi Iroha. So maybe that's first stream. Maybe they're setting it up as the big first stream
Potentially,
match.
I could see it.
Because they don't really have a lot of time to build matches for first stream.
Yeah, I mean, and there's no
You can
more
do that.
Monday Magic. Monday Magic and Gotcha. Gotcha featured Sari and she lost, and it was a really good
Yeah,
match. But we're not
yeah.
talking about it. Yeah, they don't have any like Monday Magic or anything set up. So unless they have like a paper, but I don't like a Wrestle Magic type thing. But I don't think they have one coming up. So yeah,
Haven't announced
probably
it. They
first
would have
stream.
had to, I think, by
No,
now.
I think they announced one, but I don't know if it's like soon.
Oh, would it be in January? The last in January this year.
Maybe I don't know. I'm not for
Who's
sure.
to say? But either way, I think that would be a good first stream match to beef up that card. But yeah, that is all for Marigold. Just took us an hour and a half, easy peasy. We then go on to Stardom, who officially announced this week that they are in partnership with CMLL. Kind of thought that was already a thing, so I was like, sure, I guess. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Hopefully, we get somebody like Scotty over. Kira has been on the wish list for a long time. I think Reina Isis is really good and doesn't get to do anything in CMLL, so send her over. I think it would be very beneficial for everybody to get some of the CMLL talent over, and I'm into it. So let's just hope it actually does stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it gave FWC somewhere to enjoy wrestling for once. So
They're so happy over there. It's crazy.
yeah,
But we do have one show to review for Stardom because they ran Cork and Hall on the 27th. They had a Stardom NIGHTER on Monday, and they did 1,220 fans. It's a good number, I think, for this gimmick. The Stardom NIGHTER. They run later.
for
It's
this
cheaper
card,
tickets.
there's like
Yeah,
nothing on it.
on a Monday. It's good. It is down, I think, from their recent ones, but
Yeah.
they're not going to go bankrupt anytime soon. Um, we opened with a 6-on-6 tag match. Konami, Sai Kamatani, Momo Watanabe, Rina, Fuki Death, and Azusa Inaba beat Starlight Kid, Azumi Miyamasaki, Hina, Tomoki Inaba, and Kyoko Kotatsu. Konami pinned Kid in 13 and a half minutes with a buzzsaw kick. This was a very, very good match. I said this 2 months ago, and it's true now. Stardom's house style lends itself to just having bodies everywhere, and a 6-on-6 is bodies everywhere. And Hate is great in addition. So I thought this was a very fun opener to Corkin.
Yeah, I had fun. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think Hina is my favorite wrestler in the company right now.
Mm-hmm.
So she was in this match.
She was.
So I liked it. Um,
I like the Konami kid stuff as well. I think Konami's doing good
uh,
lately.
yeah, Konami has been doing well recently. I didn't think it was particularly like worth noting between them. I thought it was just all right. Um, Momo Sai stuff happened.
Yeah, so
Um,
they've started building that. Um,
Kinda
they started it in Fuji, I want to
Fuji, yeah.
say.
Which I watched
They
a match from that show.
Oh
Well,
yes, you did.
Kikyo versus Ano. That was Kikyo's homecoming show. Good match.
Very good.
Yeah.
So they did some miscommunication stuff in the Fuji main event with Konami, Momo, and Saya, and afterwards it was little bit like you did that on purpose, so you messed us up on this, and so they started to sow these seeds of doubt within Hate, and then they took it in a different direction because afterwards they in the backstage promo it was like this is
They were
actually Tara
fine.
Okada's fault.
Yeah.
This isn't our fault. This is Taro Okada's fault. He hasn't booked us in preview tags. And then they addressed this after the 6-on-6 because they got on the microphone and said, "Why have we not had preview tags? We want one this weekend." They did.
Yeah. So
They
is the
furthered. I'll tie them together. Don't worry. They
okay.
furthered the miscommunication during this show because Saya and Momo were pushed towards one another and were like, "Hey, you did that on purpose again." After the miscommunication
But they just
in
started
Fuji.
fighting. Like they didn't even go. Like they just
Yeah, because it's
immediately on
Fuji. Like
site fought each other.
they don't trust each other. That seems to be the vibe. They don't trust one another. Konami maybe is involved too. She maybe doesn't trust them both.
Well, I don't
Um,
blame them for not trusting each other. They start fucking hitting each other, like
yes,
like on a whim. And the thing
I.
is that it's so funny because they have a story. They have
Mhm,
had a story this entire time. Do you know how many
mhm,
times Momo has accidentally hit fucking Sai Kamatani? And then
yes,
she all of a sudden stopped a month and a half ago.
yeah.
Why would you stop? That's
Who knows?
like
Um, so
ugh,
I don't hate the miscommunication thing. I don't. It's
me
it's
neither.
fine. What I
Yeah.
don't understand is mixing in the Taro stuff because, as I always say, if you're feuding with Taro, where's the payoff? Who is the heat on? Like he fired Tekla, so technically he got the heat there. He gets himself over, but he's not a wrestler. Taro Okada is not selling tickets for firing Tekla. Taro Okada is not going to sell tickets to Crimson Nightmare either. So why are you making
Because
him
he's
the
Triple
focal point
H.
of your feud? Now, obviously, Hate is the most likely group to blame him for stuff, but I don't
Yeah, they hate
understand
him.
why they're like, you're not booking us in preview tags for this match when you can then just say we want to do one, and he's like, yeah, sure. Like, I don't
I
understand
also
the work shoot aspect. I don't think you should include Taro in this at all. You should have just done the miscommunication stuff.
I also think it's really late. Um, because it's like
Yeah,
I know
true.
we've talked about how it's late, but because we went from like a week ago, them just kind of like doing a 10-second, not even like a 3-second stare down, then just kind of like walking away together and being chill, um, to miscommunication Fuji, and then backstage being chill and being like, you know what, this is Taro's fault. To this match where they just start fighting, like just it's like it's
Yeah.
on site, and I was like, oh, okay. And then afterwards, they're like, you know what, we're still not the problem. It's Taro's fault. I was like, okay, so what's going on for real? And it doesn't matter that much. I'm happy they're finally like kind of like doing something here. Saya finally posted about Momo Watanabe for the first fucking time. uh she was like, oh yeah, I don't know if y'all know, but Momo was my debut opponent, my former leader. She taught me half the shit I know about wrestling and all this stuff. I was like, yeah, wouldn't that be great to mention, like, fucking when she won the tournament? It don't matter. I'm overreacting. It's fine. This is a good thing. We're doing something. I'm excited for the match.
Yes. The Taro aspect out of it, maybe.
I think I don't
Um,
know. I don't even know what the Taro aspect really is. Like
I don't know either.
because it's not like I want to preface this because I did see somebody say, "Oh, it's not Taro's fault. It's the wrestler's fault."
Oh no,
I
please
don't
don't.
even I no, I don't even fully disagree because again, Saya Kamatani could have tweeted about fucking Momo at any point in the past month.
Yeah.
She could have done an interview to Tokyo Sports about Momo in the past month. She
Hmm.
could have literally said anything at some point at all, and she didn't. And Momo has been, twiddling her thumbs, uh, picking her nose, like I do. Like that. Like I don't
To
know
put
what
the
we're.
Saya, you're so cool promo.
Yeah, and then she goes to the side. You're so cool. I would never disparage you. I just want to fight the strongest, and I think I'm the strong. Like, okay, whatever, sure. Like, again, I'm not trying to get too upset because ultimately this is a move in the right direction because we are telling a story finally. But this, like, while I do think it's like it could be a work shoot of like, wait, why aren't we in preview tags? Like, Tara, put us in a preview tag. Um, I also don't really like. I don't know. Doesn't matter. We're gonna preview the show later, where I can talk about that.
Okay. I do think it's a much colder match than it could have been, given
Oh,
the
obviously, yeah.
emotions of of Momo Watanabe's GP win. Like that was a huge moment for a lot of fans. I feel like they didn't capitalize on it quick enough. I do think they've slowly tried to do the miscommunication because I know they did the same like push Momo and Saya against each other spot at the last Corkin, and they both were like, we see through that. We're chill. And now 2 weeks on, they're just like, no, actually, I'm gonna fuck you up. So they have done it like slowly, but I definitely think there was a lot more to dig into, given who these two are. That they're either gonna have to do a rematch or they're gonna have to do a big shift on the pay per view. But of course, we can preview that and predict it later. Now, next up was Saki Kashima, Hanako, Amisore, Suri, and Rian of not God's
Nope.
Eye. That is two factions. They beat Suzuki, Bozilla, Natsupoi, Aya Sakura, and Sayaka Kurara. Saki Kashima actually pinned Aya in 8.5 minutes with the revival.
Shut up.
Um,
Did
I
you
guess
did you
for
actually just hear Saki Kashima's old theme song play when my phone rang? Because that was my ringtone. It's
that
her
is
old theme
awesome.
song.
I'm
Yeah.
very happy. Um, but yeah, this was fun. The Bozilla Saki stuff is like one of the best feuds of the year. It's just so easy, so fun. Kashima is funny as hell, and I think Siri, like, also being afraid, she's like, I will protect you, but oh my god, please,
She's like,
Bozilla,
God, I don't want to
don't
do
eat me
this.
alive." Yeah, it's great. Everything about Bozilla. on the main shows is great. I loved Bozilla also not wanting anything to do with Cosmic Angels when they tried to pose with them. She was like, "Get out of here." So yeah, this was really fun. Like I just had a lot of fun with it. The feud is great. The wrestlers' personalities are really showing up, and some of the wrestling was cool around it. You know.
Yeah, yeah, no, I would agree.
Lady C then beats Saida and
Suzu's back.
Akira.
Suzu's back. Suzu's back. Yeah, that's cool. By the way, Suzu, nice to see you.
Yeah,
Bozil and
sure.
Suzu are a tag league team from the sounds of it.
Cool. I would like that.
Bozil said
The,
that's what the
all right.
thing is.
Okay. Um,
Sorry.
I'm lost now. Sorry. Yeah, Lady C beat Akira Kargane and Saida. C pinned Akira in 9.5 minutes after taking her face off with a big boot. And this was fun. You know, the best bits were Lady C with Akira. She was just ruthless with the spin and the big boot. And Saida was also there.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The big boot
Sorry.
was crazy. The big boot was crazy. I
Yes.
do want
Yeah.
to pay attention to that.
Sari and Miku Kanai beat Yuna Mizumori and Saori Ano. Sari pinned Unamon with the Uranagi in 12 minutes. A very, very good tag match. Sari, always a floor raiser. Kanai, I think, was good with Unamon. The best stuff was Sari and Ano. I'm going to need them
Mm.
to run Sari and Ano. I know they're setting up Natsupoi. Get Natsupoi out of the way. Sariano is just so much better for this role. She is just more likely to fuck up Sari, I think, and that's what I need. So
Well, that can
even
happen
though
regardless of if Sauri's in Stardom or not. Because Suri
kind of
has that
maybe
kind of deal, kind of.
I disagree. They need to do it at Dream Queendom, but
Don't think that's
the
gonna happen.
finishing stretch was cool as well with Unimon getting to like show that she is very very talented. You know the
Unimon,
clotheslines she was throwing on Sari were nutty.
dare I say, Unimon was serving. Hmm? Hmm.
Always is.
Yeah, but I don't know the hair. It looked. She looked really cool.
I agree. Do you have any comments on the match, or like go into the post
Yeah, no.
match
So
stuff?
I really like Sauri and Ano, especially. I thought Miku got to do a decent amount of stuff. I would have liked to see a bit more from her, but also, Sauri. Um, but yeah, I thought Miku and Yuna also did a lot of great work together. But Sauri and Ano do really click together. So I'd like to see that match, but I doubt we get it ultimately.
It's a shame. Afterwards, Natsupoi came out and was like, "Hey, I don't like you." Remember? Um, and
This
then
is crazy
Sari was
because
like,
they do like each other.
I actually think Sari was talking shit, and Natsupoi was like, "Hey, don't you dare." And then Sari was like, "Hey, I'm running Sariism in like a month or like 11 days. So you want to show up on Sariism?" And Natsupoi was like, "Yeah, hell yeah." So now they're booked in a tag match. It is Sari and Suzu versus Chihiro Hashimoto and Natsupoi in the main event. They're presumably building to Natsupoi versus Sari at Dream Queendom, and that's like one of the tag matches on the road there. But I think it's a nice feud. They're obviously good friends. Sari will agree to put Natsupoi over. You can have Natsupoi then maybe get elevated up the card again for spring if they want to. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. They also said that Kanai and Sari will be in tag league, so I'm interested to see what Kanai does in tag league. I think
Yep,
she'll probably carry most of the matches, but I think she's a good addition and somebody who can just eat pins for Sari makes life a lot easier. So
I agree, and I'm happy to see Miku get some dates. Get some reps. It's always fun. She's really good.
yeah, no, she deserves anything in a big company. Like I think
Yeah,
she fits right in.
I wouldn't be
Um,
surprised if Sauri like campaigned just to get fucking Miku, like just to
Probably.
get her to do some stuff. Because
Let's
obviously
hope so.
Miku's Hoda's trainee, but she's effectively Sauri's at this point.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good to see Sari doing stuff. I think they didn't want to do the Saya match or like couldn't do the Saya match, and so now she's going to go full steam ahead with the Natsupoi thing. And I think it's going to be good for her. And probably
And truthfully, I
Cosmic
think
Angels. I think it's a great direction for Cosmic Angels who haven't had a lot to do since before the GP. Like if you get Unimon or Aya or Carrara really involved in this, then they can have something with Sari and Chi Chi and Kanai. I think it would be beneficial to all of them.
not to be like a conspiracy theorist, but I wouldn't be surprised if like the Saya match not happening is why Saori was like, "Fuck it, I was fucking wrestle Marigold too." Like it's not like like I have a feeling if a match that big was going to happen, Saori would not want to jeopardize it potentially.
Yeah.
Uh because even she said it's like this is a a bit of a risky move, but I do what I want. And I don't think she would have that demeanor if she was on the table for a Saya match. You know what I mean? I don't think we would have gotten the Go Chica match if that was a plan. So yeah, no, I'm excited about where we're going with Sairi, even if it is just her facing a couple of the Angels and then leaving, or
Mhm.
facing a couple of the Angels and then meandering around every once in a while in Stardom.
She's nearing the end of the cycle. You know, she
Th-
kind of
I
does
I
this.
have a feeling, yeah.
Yeah. Our next match was for the High Speed Championship, which has apparently abandoned the new set of rules. Mai Sarah
Good.
beat Waka Tsukiyama in 10.5 minutes with a checkmate. So just one fall and no longer a 10-minute time limit. They might be doing 15,
Should be
but they did
15.
keep the 10-second ring out thing, which I think is good. It's
Yeah,
they used it a little bit in
gotta
this.
do it fast.
Yes, but this is a fun match. You know, I
I
think this
liked
was
it.
one of the better. This was Waka leaving behind all of her bad parts and just reminding us that she is very talented. But obviously, this is May Sarah's domain. This is where she is at her most comfortable, and she was very impressive.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a good one for sure. I was happy with what Waka did, and May is always good. So yeah, May. Not to just skip over the match because I did think the match was very good, but May challenged Suzuki afterwards, which
Yeah,
was
I was gonna say
yeah, we're doing that, I
Tazuki
guess.
challenged in a backstage comment, so I think that that was always
Yeah,
just a side
yeah.
direction.
Suzuki said I want to face May or Waka for the belt,
Yeah,
and May officiated it, and it's happening next week.
hell yeah, great use of Hazuki. But yeah, I like that they've gotten rid of the rules.
Mm. Yeah,
Like
definitely.
I got the idea, and we kind of said at the time one or the other, not both, and they've kind of just decided to go back to normal.
I think
Um,
I also wouldn't be surprised if they were like trying to find people to fight for the belt, and they're like, those rules kind of sound stupid, bro. How would I even do that? I don't really
yes,
want to. So May just didn't get to defend the belt for a long time because
yeah,
it's like you would think they introduce these new rules. It's like, oh, and they're gonna really like overhaul this. It's like no, nobody challenged because everybody
no,
thought it was fucking stupid. Like that was realistically a possibility that's what happened.
yeah. I appreciate taking the L. You know, you got it.
Yeah,
Sometimes you try stuff and it doesn't work. It's fine.
when you try
Um,
your best but you don't succeed.
we got on to the main event then for the Goddess of Stardom Championships. Natsuko Tora and Rocca defeated Itsuki Aoki and Rini Yamashita in 20 minutes. Natsuko pinned Aoki with the Swanton Bomb
Mm.
after a great tag match. This was awesome. Um, One of the better tag title matches all year in Joshi.
Oh,
Like
well, that's wild.
every pairing was great. Everybody did good. The finishing stretch was fun. Rini Yamashita has been just MVP levels in Stardom, and BMI are fantastic together. Like this was just so good.
Yeah, no, I thought it was very good. I wouldn't go that far. That's a bit crazy, but I thought it was very good. Really loved what Ruaka got in there to do against Rina, especially,
Mm,
and Aoki. I thought Natsuko did well as well, but I really liked Ruaka's output on the BMI side. Um, Rina and Aoki are just great. Like I kind of realized that it's like you put any of the former members of Max Voltage in a tag title match and they will deliver. There's
yeah,
no like they will deliver. There's no chance that they won't. The Nai earlier this year, the Nai and Seven Up, Ryo Mizunami's fucking the best. Uh, Miyuki Takase is sneaky great in tag title matches, and Itsuki Aoki always a delight to see. I'm really happy that we ended up getting Rina and Aoki in this company ultimately, even
hmm
though it's been a weird, I haven't particularly loved the Mi Vida Loca stuff. I have really loved what I've gotten, especially from Rina Yamashita in Stardom, and I'm hoping they are in Tag League, or at least one of them are in it with Akira. If the other one can't, I would love a Rina and Akira run if Aoki's busy, but yeah. Just give me more of them because they're awesome, and I'm excited to see. I guess nothing's next for BMI. They said they're gonna wait for the tournament. They're gonna fight in that. So
Oh,
I yeah, because Rock and Natsuko said we're gonna win the tournament too. So
that's real.
yeah, I imagine we're on hold for the tag titles now, which is fine. We don't really have many more big events, you know, leading up to the end of the year outside of tag league. So yeah, I was really happy with what we saw, and I would love to see more Rina Yamashita, especially in Stardom.
Hmm. I'm liking the late BMI 2000 like push for best tag team in Stardom because they rock, and as a long time rocker truther, I think it's great to
Mhm.
see her doing so
Yeah.
well. Like the crowd was really into this. Like that
Mhm.
says so much, I think, about the two of them and how good they were here. That like the crowd was just, I think they added to this match a lot. Um, and I really liked what we got. So I'm happy to see the goddess belts kind of getting a little bit of shine, but I'm more happy to see Mai getting a little bit of shine. I said this last month, but I think Natsuko is kind of one of those veins of form where she's just looking really good and she's moving
Mhm.
really well, and you're not worried about the knees as much. Um, so yeah, very very good stuff, and a very enjoyable Corkin. I think the Stardom Nighters are probably some of my favorite shows because they kind of have a strict time limit, so they just kind of have to get in, get out, and it just fits the roster, I think, really well. And
They are
they,
easier watches, yeah. Like very
yeah,
smooth.
like you look at it, like the 6-on-6 went 13 minutes. The 10 woman tag goes 9, or well, 8.5. You have 9.5 for the 3-way. You have 12 for that. You have 10 for the semi main. 20 for the main event. Like it's just it works. It flows really well. It is very fun to watch. Um, Now we have to preview. We're not going to preview New Blood because that will have happened by the time this goes up. Doesn't really make much sense to preview it, but we will go and discuss the pay per view that is happening next Tuesday. No, Monday. Sorry, next Monday on the 3rd of November. It is Stardom Crimson NIghtmare 2025 in Ota Ward Gymnasium. We don't have the full card. We have, let's see what's on
4
here.
matches.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they haven't added the fourth, but we do know it's there. Um, so we're gonna start a special singles match: Saki Kashima versus Bozilla. I think this is a win
Mhm.
for Bozilla. Obviously, it'll be
No,
comedic. Like they'll do some comedy. I think maybe Bozilla is being heated up to challenge Shiri for the IWGP.
wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe.
Or
Uh,
to win the tag league.
that too, that either. But yeah, I think maybe an IWGP match would make more sense. Wait, wait, she does have the IWGP. Sorry. Um, yeah, I think that's maybe where this is going. We have the high speed championship match as mentioned, Hazuki versus Mai Sakurai. I don't think Hazuki's gonna win. I think Mai Sakurai wins that. We get like a 3-way or a 4-way involving Unimon where she can like sneak the belt out.
Suzuki's
Um,
actually gonna win it and then drop it to Mercedes Moné.
Maybe. But yeah, I think Mai Sakurai probably
She's
retains
actually
there.
gonna
That'd be a
drop all
great.
super belts. We're
Yeah,
gonna get crazy.
why not? But yeah, you Mai Sakurai?
We, I think we can go 15 again.
Yeah, yeah, why
I mean,
not?
hey, maybe Macer. Like I don't know. I don't know how they're feeling about Hazuki because they keep. It feels like they're buttering her up right now. Kind of like giving her some cool stuff. So I
Yeah,
don't know if if they're gonna beat her outright. Um, if they do, and then she's not in the tag league, then it's like okay, maybe they still don't really fuck with her. Um, but if she wins here or gets a draw, I think it's like okay, yeah, they're trying to make her, you know, resign on, you know, early or whatever.
possibly. It is around that time of the year where I think they ask if
It's really,
people
I
are
think she's the
ready to go.
only person, and like I said, I think she's more likely to go to fucking CMLL than go to Marigold necessarily. But like she's like FWC are like the wrestlers who have been slighted the most clearly by the
Hmm.
company. So like they would make the most sense to be in question to leave.
Yeah,
I don't really see anybody else being even like remotely possible to leave this time around. So like I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, okay, we do like you. Sorry that we treated you like shit for 6 months and let a child walk all over you and did nothing about it. We're sorry. So maybe that's what we're doing, but I don't
okay. Um, Our next match is for the Wonder of Stardom Championship. Starlight Kid defends against Konami.
I think
Um,
Konami wins.
yeah, I think the reign is in real doubt. I think Konami writing off Hanan has made me think Hanan is gonna come back and like beat Konami for the belt. Now, whether that's because Starlight Kid played her hand and was like, "I'm not putting over one of my direct rivals for top babyface," or they
She
have
wants to win the tag
realized
belts with Azumi.
maybe
I
that, or
think
they've
that's a
realized
possibility.
think maybe
But
they realized that they need Cade in a big match at Sumo Hall. I think maybe they were hoping Micah would be ready for something for this show, but she's only just taking bumps again, so I don't think she's going to be back in time for a December match. So you maybe need Cade to either face like Suri or Saya in December to kind of keep that as a big match. I think freeing her of the white belt by giving it to Konami is pretty good. You know, obviously it's a rematch, which kind of perks up our ears because usually you don't lose two white belt matches in the same reign.
yeah, it's a
So
bit
I just
difficult.
think the odds are really leaning towards Konami. I mean, if it's an easy way to put over Hanan, I think she would do the business for Hanan pretty well. As I
Mhm.
said, she wrote Hanan off, so that's a pretty easy story to come back to. You could maybe have Konami like beat the shit out of somebody from Stars, and Hanan's like, "Hey, I'm back. This is my group," and she takes the belt off her. But yeah, I think we're gonna get a new white belt champ. I think they just might need to reshuffle the cards a little bit, and Kid might be needed elsewhere.
Would be a crazy, crazy turn of events. Double belt Konami in 2025. Shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, they've liked her all year. She's
I
definitely one of
know.
the
I know.
like bigger pushes that's been like consistent. Um, we'll have to wait and see on that. We then have the World of Stardom and Strong Women's Championship. Saya Kamatani defends against Momo Watanabe. I don't think this
Yeah.
goes down clean necessarily. I feel like there
Mm.
will be some crap, like maybe somebody like Rocca hits Momo with the box and Momo gets like enraged, and we keep fracturing hate. But I mean, Momo's not winning. I think that's the only
You
thing.
know.
Like
You know
she's
what the worst case scenario is?
what?
Saya. The peeps go to cheat for Saya, and Saya waves them off and beats her clean. Um, Paralleling the 5 star where Momo did that to beat
Oh yeah.
Azumi. I think Sai could do that, and then Momo falls in line, and then I hurt somebody. Um, I think that's a very real possibility because ultimately the shitty build, regardless, like it doesn't matter if this is a blow up. If something big happens and it's like, oh, the point was that it's like, very minor rumblings, very, subtle fractures, not really anything to care about, note about. Why does this match matter? This match is fucking, there's nothing happening. It's really nothing. It's just, and then something big happens. Like that would maybe not save it. It obviously depends on what the big thing is. Maybe not save it, but would do something for me, right? Whereas I think
Mhm.
there is a very real possibility that this does just go down clean and Momo just kind of falls in line and she retires exactly where she is right now. And that's as a loser who stood in the sun a couple of times and never returned to it for real. Um, I, yeah, I don't need Momo to win, obviously. Momo's not winning, but I would really appreciate if something happened. Like that's where I'm at. Is like just show to me that there is like a future for Momo Watanabe that isn't, oh Sai, I would never disparage you. You're so cool. You're so tough. These bitches wish they were you. If you show me that there's more than that and that Momo has something, they yeah, if Saya cheats or whatever, if something happens, some blow up, or not even blow up, but something that alludes to a future blow up, something happens, I'll be chill. I'll be happier. Um,
Yeah.
I'll be satisfied to some degree. Hopefully. Uh, hope the match is good. I don't I didn't love these two against each other historically. Like in big matches, I think they had a white belt match I wasn't crazy about. It was good, but it wasn't, So it's like I'm not like expecting them to make magic here, in terms of in ring,
Hmm.
but I'm hopeful it's good. I'm hopeful something happens. Uh, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they would be doing the kind of seeds that they are if they weren't planning something here. I think it would just be a standard Saya defense. Now obviously they will have to drop the tarot aspect. Because if this ends and they just go, yeah, see, we're cool, towards the Booker, then it would be silly. But I don't know. I just feel like like they wouldn't have
Damn,
done.
damn.
Was that you?
Oh, it's my dog.
Oh, I was like, what the hell?
Okay, go on.
All right. I feel like the fracturing thing was thrown in, and obviously there's the little bit that Momo like got hate not to interfere in the main event with Azumi. Like I feel like maybe that'll play in here where they're like, oh well, you didn't use us then.
See, I thought they
Saya
were
is
going to
going to
do
use
that
us.
for this gimmick, like for this like story, but they just didn't. You know,
They might still. I mean, they might just pick it up
they could.
here.
Might just be late. Yeah,
Yeah, I just don't see hate being as they are by the time this show ends. But maybe I'm just being
that's what
optimistic.
I'm hoping. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
I'm hoping that's the case. And I
because then
hope
you
it's
can just
not
do a
hate's not
rematch
the way they
where,
were by the time it ends, and it's come Nami winning the belt, and that's the
yeah.
difference.
Because like, I think it would be a great story if like they kicked Momo out and she had to go back to being a good guy, and then she could like win the rematch or something insane like that. She
Mm.
won't. They're not going to belt up Momo, but I think it'd be really cool if they did.
She can win the
Um,
white belt. She could beat Konami. Fuck it.
Maybe, yeah.
She can't.
Uh,
It's Hana,
yeah,
but
no,
still.
she'd have to out politics some great politicians. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm very interested to see how that goes. I think we'll obviously get a little bit of insight over the weekend for the shows
Mm.
that aren't announced yet with the some of the preview tags. But I think they're just gonna I think they're gonna deliver, which is the most important thing. Momo Watanabe,
Inshallah.
Momo in a big spot. You just don't doubt Momo in the big spots.
I
So
began doubting Momo in big spots.
yeah, but
But
you
we'll see.
are a drone who
Okay,
likes
I've been doubting
some.
Momo in big spots since far before Rossi left or
Yeah,
Marigold
but you,
started.
you were kind of annoying there for a little bit about heel Momo, so
Yeah,
it's
'cause
yeah.
it don't matter. Whatever.
um, but that is that for our show. Because it is late and I'm not doing
Yep.
anything else. We
Yep.
will be back next week to. I don't even know if Marigold is running this weekend. I haven't even checked. I think they have a show on Saturday or something. We'll review the Marigold show and we'll review New Blood and a Crimson Nightmare. And then I think we have tag leagues starting straight away,
Yep.
maybe.
Maybe.
Oh,
Kinda.
hold on. Let's see, Crimson. Yeah, tag leagues on the 7th. So
So we'll
next
get
week
that
will be a big
announcement
one.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, next week will be a big one. We'll preview the tag league. We'll review the pay-per-views, and Marigold will probably get shoved in somewhere along there because they're not really doing much. So
Crazy we haven't gotten the tag teams for it's it's a week away. Nine
we don't have
days.
a card for the pay-per-view, Dylan. That is closer.
Touche. Touche.
Yeah.
Let's take it home.
All right. Well, if you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in.
Shine forever. Stardom, Quest, Goldo. Passion.
Oh gosh, passion, Ijo.
Isha.